I'm no jokes, about 11 years to even get onto community radio
No,
because I was
man.
still yeah, you can ask anyone in my family. It was a slog, dude, because I was still a kids TV presenter.
Who is consuming long form content?
Oh my gosh, no, me, all my friends. Long form is great, but you put on like a Joe Rogan or an Andy Frisella or a Goggins or any one of them, or to I fall asleep to murder and haunted houses and stuff.
So thank you so much for making the time and taking the time. You're obviously on air, but you also do like a gajillion other things. So we need to get through all of them. But firstly, let's start with radio. How's that been? You're still on 7 to 10 because things have changed.
Yes, I'm still on 7 to 10 for the foreseeable future. But I think, when is this going out, B?
No idea. Probably,
Okay.
probably only September. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, then I can tell you. You're the first person. I'm also on the CTM top 40. So I've taken it over and it's gone from a top 20 to a top 40, which I'm really excited about. Yeah.
This is fantastic news. Oh, very congratulations. Do you know
Thank
what?
you.
I think to put it into perspective for the friends that will be watching this that don't know that we're friends,
Yeah.
you and me met when I
Like
started.
really good friends.
Yes. You and I met when I started in community radio, like
Yeah.
many years ago, and then you proceeded to do what I think a lot of us are still attempting to do, which is move into the commercial space and go ahead and broaden also on what you're doing. How's the podcast going?
I took a bit of a break. I think when you're doing radio, you're never just doing radio. People always come up to us and are like, oh, it must be so nice to work for 3 hours a day. What they don't realize is we're probably working closer to 18 hours a day because we're not only prepping for the show, but we're recording the interviews and we're doing a whole lot of other things because radio isn't forever. And I think we all need to realize that we sign year to year. So you've got to be able to keep yourself going if that contract doesn't come. So I did a podcast. I've done 3 podcasts, 3 online shows that turn into podcasts, editing, all of that. And I think last year I burnt out and I was feeling creatively stifled. I found myself asking people the same questions and like going into the same kind of like conversational topics. And I realized that I needed a bit of a break. So I haven't been podcasting this year. I haven't done even one. But as of today, I am back and I have a new set and I have a new studio. We have new software, new editing, new look, new vibe, new everything. So I think the first episode of my new podcast will probably launch somewhere mid-August. And there are 2 that we're currently looking at. And then we're also currently brainstorming a TV show. So
The
from taking like 6 months off
dude,
into like things, yeah.
everything at once. Okay, that's very exciting. I spoke to Ronaldo couple of weeks ago, don't know when, and so it's and talking to a radio person that did the whole television shift. Mark Pilgrim also did that, so did Sasha Martiningo actually.
I did it the other way around.
Yeah, so you are one of the few who like completely made television and you were like, cool, I'll go do radio now.
Yeah. Yeah, now going back to TV, I'm kind of like, I remember when I was on TV because I did kids TV for a really long time. And Ilana Africa Bread Cup actually said to me after a contract had ended on kids TV, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. And she said, go to radio. And I was like, yeah, but that's where people go to die. I don't want to do radio. I want to
That's
be
not
like
nice.
No, but it was how I felt when I was like, what, 13, 14, 15. I wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be the star. I wanted to like be the person, and I felt like radio was very subdued and like not front and center.
Fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I really like the vague anonymity radio can give you. It offers you the space to explore, but no one's looking at you and judging you. And now going back to TV, I'm older, I'm fatter, and I don't know how that's gonna land on camera, right? So it's weird for me to go back. I kind of don't want to go back, if that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense because I haven't been there yet. But I think I can understand the sentiment of what you're saying. I've always lived for the romances of the radio industry. It's what's always attracted me to radio, is the anonymity of it. You know, like, random quick story. I got into listening to radio. I was hospitalized in high school because I don't know how to drive motorcycles and should never. And so I was like in my bed. I couldn't sleep many nights because of all the meds they gave me. And Cassie Clark was on Tux FM's late night show. And this was the first time I'd ever interacted with radio and had the radio interact back with me. And right there, I was like, that's the coolest thing. That's so cool. The person on the radio just spoke to me. Like, that's the coolest thing in the world. Like, so anyway, radio for me has been the coolest platform in the world just ever. When you went from, and with yours, it's complicated because you did television first. I think you had a very good run up as to what it takes to like break into an industry. I think you had a better idea of what was to come trying to make radio, already having because going from community to commercial has been like the biggest lesson I've yet to learn. Busy learning it now, not easy at all. And I felt like you made it look so easy.
No, getting into radio is hard. You know what? I think there are one or two stations that hire celebrities and actors, and some of them work, but predominantly they don't really work, right? Because there is a very specific personality, I think, and I don't even know if I am one, but it's working, so I might be. But there's a very specific personality, very specific way of thinking, very specific person, I think, that fits a radio person. And going from kids TV, especially, to try and break into radio, it was years, Barry. It was years. It was about, no jokes, about 11 years to even get onto community radio. No, because man. I was still, you can ask anyone in my family. It was a slog, dude, because I was still a kids TV presenter and I was still seen as such. So there was a voice that went with that. There was a persona that went with that. And all of that had to be unlearned in order to get into radio. And then to get into community and then make the jump from community to commercial. The community to commercial was about 1.5 years of every single Monday. You know the story. Every Monday, I would send a new demo. I would send new emails. I'd be like, hi, hello, this radio station. Hello, this radio station. This is who I am. Here's my CV. Here's my demo. And eventually I got over it and I bribed my way in with cupcakes. I told them that I was going to bring cupcakes to like all of the biggest stations, and all of the station managers came back to me and they were like, yeah, sure, come visit. So I didn't bake them, I bought them. And I went to all of the 4 big stations with my cupcakes and I got in the door. And that's, you know what, I think that's what you've got to realize. Sometimes you send me screenshots of the emails that you send me, and you've got to think out of the box. You've got to stand out from the millions of tons of emails going, hi, please listen to my demo. But it's hard. You know what? No one is safe from getting into radio. If you want to get into radio, be prepared to cry. Be prepared for the no's. Just be prepared. It's very rare.
That's very true. That's so true.
I want to be on radio and then they're in, you know?
But do you know what the thing is? Like, I think when you want, like, I don't know why radio appeals to me a lot more than television. And coming here to Cape Town, and then, so I've never been to Prime Media, right? Not in Joburg, not here. And I finally got the meeting to go visit. By the time this is out, hopefully the situation will have changed. But I walked in there the first time. I'll never, like, I cried on the way back. It was so emotional. Like, leaving KFM Cape Talk. Do you know what their offices look like here? It's like a carnival. Okay, it's amazing, and there's flags everywhere. So like, it was so exhilarating, and leaving there knowing just how hard it's still going to be. I cried so hard. I was like, I can't believe what this is going to take so long, and I want it so bad. But I think it's important to want it. It's going from community to commercial is not everyone's priority. I want to mention that, because a lot of people love community radio, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And I think in community, you get this chance to do a lot more than kind of just whatever it is you've been hired to do. And community, it very much is a team effort, making that station tick and, making everything. And I love that for community. I think one industry I've yet to fully come to understand is television, and Ronaldo shed some light on that for me. Are you going to shed even more light? What are you doing? Can you tell me? Can you not
No,
tell me?
I can't tell you yet. I can't. You know what? I would love to tell you. No, I can't tell you yet, and I don't want to jinx anything.
Okay, fine.
So, I can tell you that it is it's an international opportunity for a South African produced television show, and there are 2 of us that are involved, 3 of us that are involved, and it's going to be really fun and informative, but also a little bit like drunk. It's still going to be it's going to be me. So yeah, but I you know what, I would love to tell you, but I don't know what I can and can't say.
Sure.
This is also my first foray into producing television, so I don't want to say anything bad.
No, sure.
But also, to your point, I have a really good friend and mentor in Ronaldo Schwab, who's produced so much television. It's people know him for that, but they also don't know that he's also an author and an incredible radio presenter.
Yeah, Ronaldo is a lot of things. Ronaldo is an absolute inspiration, and the way he speaks of it, and also kind of makes it seem like it's not easy, but it comes very naturally to him, I think, which is wonderful. I've yet to have a couple of guests on this podcast that I still really want to talk to, but I feel like almost all radio presenters that did radio very, very well and went on to do it for a long time went on to television. And so it seems like a sort of natural progression. Not everybody, but a lot of them. A lot of them. So moving on along down the line, in terms of radio, getting into like the really nitty gritty of it for like, because I'm a radio geek, I like to say, when you make radio and you're preparing to do a show, how long does that process take you? How long is off air? How long do you spend off air to get that on air product?
How long is a piece of string be? It depends. It depends on the day. It depends on the show. It depends on me. It depends on where we are in the week. Every day is so different. Some days it will be, I'll spend from 8 o'clock in the morning until showtime preparing. Other days I've already done the work, so I can walk in at 5:30 for my 7 o'clock show and I'm ready. It just, it depends on the day. It depends on what I've done as work before. But I think generally there's always prep is what I want to say. There's always prep. There's always a game plan. You always have an order that you need to hit, right? It may not be scripted. It may not be perfectly prepped, but you know where you're going. And I think as long as you have that, you'll be okay. But I can't tell you specifically. Like today is a long day for me. Today I started at 8 and I'll end at 6 doing Zooms. Tomorrow I'll edit those, podcast those, cut those audios. And then for the next couple of days, my interviews are done, my audio is done. And then you just start that again. So I think it takes like a day or 2.
I think I'm actually going to cut that question because I've asked it too many damn times. And actually you are right. How long is a piece of string, right? And it does change the whole time. I think more relevant as well is just that I've always admired that you do so many different things. And I know how busy you are because we barely get to like be friends, even though we are.
Yes, but you left me. You moved to Cape Town. You abandoned me.
Why don't you come join us here where it's nice?
Valid. Carry on.
It's nice here. No, so do you know what I think like... And this is I don't think this is I don't think this dilemma is personal to me. I think a lot of people in our industry face this. I'd love to do so many of the things I see my peers doing, not only you, but Ronaldo, but everyone else. It's so, because it looks like fun for starters, just for that reason only. And it's so fun to do creative things and create things. And more often than not, I find myself talking myself out of something just as fast as I spoke myself into something. And I think it's cool to see someone like you do so many things and actually commit to doing all of these different things. And they're so different from one another. How do you do that? Like, how do you just go ahead and say, cool, we're going to do all of it?
Oh, dude. So I'm learning no. I've only recently learned that no is a full sentence. So I think the only reason that I've done so many things all at the same time is because I don't like to let people down. And if someone comes to me with an idea or wants to go into a partnership or has this cool thing that they want to try, I'm never gonna say no. Well, until now. So I think it was just a case of head down and do it. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. There were days, and I'm sure you've been privy to them, where I absolutely would be like, I wish I'd said no to this thing. I wish I'd said no to this thing. I don't want to do this thing. I'm tired of this thing. I hate this thing. Editing for me is the worst. I hate editing. I hate the slog of it. I hate sitting here by myself, listening to all of the nonsense that I've spoken. Editing video, editing sound is not my thing. So I've learned now that it's okay to delegate. It's okay to give things to stronger people in your team. And it's okay to, if you can afford it, to hire out. So I do have a little bit more time now, but a couple of months ago, you just head down and do it, dude. You just do it. You've said yes. There's no way you can get out of it. You just do it.
Yeah, no, that's 100% the truth. Yeah, I actually didn't know that you took a pause on the podcast. It's because I'm completely out of touch with what everyone around me is doing. It's so difficult to like consume everyone's content and care because you do care, I do care, but I didn't know that the podcast stopped.
Don't
Um,
lie. You are living in Cape Town. You're living your best life. You don't care about the rest of us
I
anymore. You
don't
like
care. You're right. No, I. It's been a thing, you know. I think as you know, the busier you get, the harder it gets to keep track with what everyone else is doing. But I like to do that with the new podcast, and you said two actually. Some details there. Is it what we're used to?
Yeah. So the one is definitely what you're used to, obviously with a few tweaks and changes. And the second one, I can't tell you too much about because we're signing contract for that one. It's with a big South African brand and it's to do with books, which is going to be fun. I had the sexy book review
I
podcast
was
that we
about to
were,
say, is it your sexy
yeah.
book review?
It's not the sexy book review. No one wants to touch that with money, but we keep doing that one because it's fun and we can get drunk and
You're
read.
taking the wrong angle. Joe Rogan got Fleshlight to sponsor him, and I'm just saying you need to look at other avenues. If
I
you,
mean, I don't want flashlight, but I would like something else. That would be great.
oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, the sexy books stay. There's come a new book one is definitely coming, and then just long format, deep dives into life, love, universe, and everything in between. Which is what you're used to from me, and I enjoy that. That for me is like downtime break.
I'm so jello that you're actually doing that. Even, planning this podcast here, it's been really hard for me, especially with my friends. Do you know, it's so weird with the strangers that I've never met, like Mark Pilgrim, I can just do an interview. But now with you, we could talk an hour. And because of the
Have
format I've
nothing.
imposed on myself, I'm like, how do we now condense what we would have chatted in an hour into like 15
Yeah.
minutes? So I think long form is something that I really, really wish to get into. How do you think the market on that is though? Because I mean, like a lot of people, I think of like myself and a lot of people that I share my industry with don't have time to consume long form content. Who is consuming long form content?
Oh my gosh, no, me, all my friends. Long form is great because I mean, I don't know if you do your own washing and clean your house, but you put on like a Joe Rogan or an Andy Frisella or a Goggins or any one of them, and you just let it play while you're cleaning and you're listening. Or to I fall asleep to murder and haunted houses and stuff. I thoroughly enjoy it. I also very rarely consume music anymore. I now just consume podcasts because I like to also know what's happening in the world, and that's where I get my news, my information, my entertainment news, all of it from podcasts. Everyone I know consumes long form podcasts.
I'm so guilty of not doing that, but it's my own selfish need for music as well. Like I'm so greedy with the time I get for my music, especially if I'm alone in my car, right? Because like my lady doesn't like the music I like. So when I'm alone, which is only in the car most of the time, right? I'm not going to listen to anything other than music. And I know that that's a
Yeah.
lot of time wasted. You could be consuming a lot of content and learning a lot of things.
No. No, 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 no. Just because I do it doesn't mean that it's right.
But they say you need to consume the medium you are on. Like Ronaldo said that as well. He was like, if you're on radio, probably a great idea to listen to radio. And if you
I don't
are
listen to
making
radio.
a podcast, maybe listen to other people's stuff too.
I can tell you right now that he is lying because he does only consume YouTube music videos. He doesn't listen to radio and he doesn't listen to podcasts. He watches 90s and 2000s YouTube music videos. That's what he does.
Okay. See, we're different like that. Oh no, hectic. So like between doing all the stuff that you do for work, I mean, is a lot of it for fun, or would you say like a lot of it is done, with a certain, you let her do whatever she wants, or is it a he? Who's that?
Oh, that's Flea, which is why she's scratching, because her name is Flea.
She's so
living up to her name.
sweet.
Flea, Flea. Please don't scratch on the TV.
Please do it.
She has the whole room, but she will lie there.
That is
Sorry, what was
fine. We are imposing on her house. No, you see, I also forgot my question. We should talk about dogs instead. No, it's completely gone now. It's completely gone now.
Something about.
Oh, I was saying, right. So like I think a lot of content that we'd like to make, we especially, once you really think about it, you'll take a concept that you'd like to do because you like it. And then you do tweak it, and you tweak it to be something that you think other people can enjoy too. Like, how much of your content would you say is made like for you, and how much of it is made, for everyone else?
All of it's for me, Barry. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. No, look, I think it all starts for you, right? The premise of everything that you do is for you. You want to do it because it's something that you enjoy, something that you want to talk about, something that you believe in. I think going from that to turn it into something that other people can consume, I think that's the balance that you must find, because you must still enjoy it enough to be interested and give a fuck about it. Sorry, can I?
Of course you can.
Also, you must also think of like that radio thing that everyone says, if you were in your car listening to this, would this be good radio? Would this be a good podcast if you were listening to it? Would this be a good conversation? If you were in your car consuming it, would you turn it off? Would you switch the channel? And that's how I look at everything that I do.
Yes. I think it's hard to believe sometimes that other people, for me anyways, that other people like the same things I do, like this podcast. I thought, like talking radio, only people that work on radio will care about this. And we're like a few. No, but I think it's cool. It's cool to talk to the people that you relate to the most. And like, I've never understood, for instance, Twitch streamers. Like, I wouldn't watch 10 seconds of that shit, but people love it. And like, I wouldn't watch it, bro. I wouldn't.
You know what I think we forget? I think because we're in it, we don't realize how special it is to be in it. Your job that you do, if you're on any radio, if you're on community, commercial, corporate, whatever radio you're on, you have a job that only like 0.0000001, and I'm sure I've left out noughts there, percent of the entire population of the earth have. Like, it is a very, very small, very niche, very special thing. And you get to do it. However you do it, you're still getting to do it. And if just like you and Cassie Clark, or like me and Barney Simon back in the day, when that radio touches you and comes into your life, whether or not you want to be on it, it's still a very big part of your life. And I think even me with Barney and Alex, and growing up with people like that, I've always wanted to know, like, how is it? Like, is it cool? Like, what does your job entail? I think that this podcast is definitely, I would consume this podcast because I would want to know, like back in the day, I would be like, what is he really like? Like, is Barney Simon a rock star? Does he eat bats' heads, or is he a normal human being?
And it's yes to both of those. I know Barney's
I've never seen him eat a bat.
I know he does. I know he does. No, I agree with you 100%. There's some people, like, I mean, if I think about, the people I was listening to back, like Rian was also a huge part of, like, everyone. When I was going to school in the morning and you saw like everyone crying and all of the cars around you because they're listening to good. Everyone listened to, but I think that was also the thing that stunned me the most, was that like this medium, not only this medium, but this person that is like really skilled at what they do will do it so well that literally everyone I knew was talking about this at some stage. At least once in a week, someone's going to talk to you about Good Morning Angels, if you lived in Pretoria anyway. And it was, I think that was profound to me to see how, like, just how influential it is as a medium. And then, of course, I never in my life thought I'd be able to, like, why would I be able to do that? And I went and I started at the University of Pretoria, and Tux was having their things. And I still I was like, it cannot be that. You can't let me just do this. But they did.
Dude, it's insane. I feel exactly the same as you. I was emailing Barney back and forth today, and halfway through the email exchange, he's helping me with new content, helping me. He's helping me and sending me stuff for my show that's coming up. And we were chatting, and I had a moment of how did I get here? Like, how did this person that I looked up to so much and just loved on radio, how is he my radio dad? Like, how did I get here? And it just like brings you back to like, I'm so lucky to get to do this. Like, so lucky.
100%. What have you not yet done? Like, I know that you're busy with stuff now, and I get that. And those are now things, right? But what are some 5-year things or some 10-year things?
OnlyFans.
No, do it. You
no.
that.
You know what? I think for now I'm good. I don't generally have a 5 or 10. I kind of just, I'm just like more of like a good time. Let's just see where it takes us. There are things that I would like to work on in my personal life. And I think for the next 2-3 years, I think that's where I'm going to focus a little bit, because I haven't really had that space before. Radio wise, I would just like to continue doing the job that I can, the job that I love on any medium that I can do it on. And then obviously also building this top 40. I want this is my radio award winning show. And I don't care who I'm upsetting by saying this is going to be the one. That award's coming home with me.
No. Fantastic. You see, I think I found you at the Radio Awards one year, and I like completely ditched everything and just tagged along with your radio station for like the whole evening.
You've done that twice, Barry.
Twice, I have. And then I just, I loved it. Listen, thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk shit with me. I really appreciate it. And it seems that if I want to get time for us to hang out, I need to schedule a formal podcast, because that's probably the last time we spoke.
Yes. Well, once again, you did move to Cape Town.
No, you can't blame everything on me.
I live telling anyone.
Literally not 10 minutes from your house, and I didn't see you more than I do now.
Yes, but it's still your fault.
Thank you so much, Dee.